the show was okay, right? There was some good moments, there were some bad moments, but I have to talk about this. Why is this like the 50th return that Roman has had in just this year? Like, they do the same thing. He returns, he has a match, he wins, and then he gets beat up, and then he's out for 3 months. And then he returns, and then he gets beat up again, and then he's out for another 3 months. Like, can we just do something else? Like, either he's not returning, and he comes back in like a year when he can actually show up to work and tell meaningful stories, or he's just going to come back out of nowhere, and no story is going to be built off of it, okay? But I'm happy to see Roman, because Roman is the best wrestler that we have. I just hope he's going to be here for the future. I'm not trying to see him return and then leave a month later. Like, that would just make no sense. Like, what the fuck would be the point of that? But it looks like they're trying to tell a story. By the end of the show, there was some type of gaze that Jimmy was giving Jay and Roman. So I will dive into that. But first, let's review the show. We start off with a segment with Rhea, Io Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I enjoyed this segment. I think this is probably the only storyline that we had in this show that had any meaning, but there's still some flaws, right? Rhea Ripley. For some reason, I don't know why she constantly giggles. Like, she has to have this little laugh while she's talking. Like, it's supposed to be intimidating, but it just comes across as fake and cringy. So I hope she can just cut the giggles. Please, cut the giggles out. I don't want to hear a giggle. Now, with Io Sky, I feel like for the past weeks, and for most of this show, she was just constantly, not crying, but whining and just didn't know what to do. She couldn't make up her mind. Please, she's an ex-world champion. She's won the big title. I don't understand why she can't make up her mind. She's a big girl, right? And she needs Rhea Ripley to help her make this decision. But at the end of the show, Io did suck it up, and she did tell Rhea, we're going to have a 2v2 against the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. So there was character development, or at least I hope. But I just better not see Io Sky cry ever again. Please. I don't want to see that shit. And also, Asuka, she's doing a fucking phenomenal job. Same with Kairi Sane. Both of them, honestly, really, really good. And I'm impressed, because before this show, I wasn't a fan of Asuka or the Kabuki Warriors. I was paying attention, but I wasn't really drawn in by the story. But I think this vignette by Asuka, I think it was really, really good in my opinion. We then have the Intercontinental Championship match between Rusev and Dominic Mysterio. And of course, for my predictions, I did have a prediction in my last video. Dominic Mysterio wins. How boring of a result. How predictable of a result. And even though Dominic Mysterio has honestly done nothing with his title reign, has been a very underwhelming, underperforming title reign, he still has it. He's still being rewarded. Why not give it to Rusev? Now Rusev, he's lost to Dominic Mysterio. What's next for Rusev? You look at Rusev, you look at Dominic Mysterio. He just lost to Dominic. What's next for Rusev? Fucking Tozawa? Honestly, I'm just sick of Dominic Mysterio. I don't see what people see in him. He's not great in the ring. He's not great on the mic. He doesn't, his character is just a ripoff of Eddie Guerrero. It's like there's no originality in his character. And I guess he's a good heel, but now people are actually cheering for him. So what is he? A tweener? Dominic Mysterio is just, in my opinion, a waste of time. I think there's many other superstars who honestly are just way better than Dom that could be in his position right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't defend. I can't stand by this fucking bullshit. He's honestly just a nepo baby who's put in this position because his dad is Rey Mysterio. Let's be honest. I feel like everyone can admit that's probably why he's in this position. We then get a backstage segment with Jimmy and Jay Uso, and they basically argue. And I think they're trying to tell a story with Jimmy, because Jimmy hasn't won any individual championships yet, right? Jay Uso has won 2. He won the IC championship and the World Heavyweight title. So, Jay Uso is talking to him crazy, honestly, and Jimmy can't really say anything back because Jimmy hasn't won anything. So I think they're trying to tell this story. We had a quick match with LA Knight, Kofi Kingston. LA Knight won. Not much to talk about, but there is, after this match, there was a funny backstage segment where Tozawa was congratulating Maxine Dupree for whatever reason. Like, what the fuck is there to congratulate? And that's exactly what Becky Lynch asked her. Tozawa, what the fuck are you congratulating her about? She's 5'8", she's 5'9", and has done nothing with her fucking tall self. And I think that was a very funny segment, a very funny promo. And Becky Lynch is someone who knows their character. And this is a pretty new character. She wasn't always like this. I feel like for the past 3 to 4 months, or probably less, honestly, she found this character, and I feel like this suits her the best. Now, with someone who doesn't really have a character, or at least I don't know what the fuck he is, Seth Rollins. He has a promo. He basically talks about the crown jewel and how all the fans want Cody Rhodes to win, and how, the fans start chanting Cody, Cody. And he basically saying, I sacrificed all of this. It should be me. You guys should be cheering for me. Blah, blah, blah. It was kind of like a Drew McIntyre type of promo. Basically, not whining, but he basically talked about all the accolades he's done, all the things he's done. He's never left WWE. He didn't have to leave and come back. All this shit. The shit he's been saying about CM Punk. He always says this. He basically says it again. Now, with Seth Rollins, the problem I have with him is I don't know what his story is. Like, he's constantly in the background. We have a scene in this episode where he's like, I have to win. I have to win. And that's all he says. But I feel like every week there's always a scene like that where there's not much context, but there's just a line. There's no context in this faction. There's no context. Braun Breaker, Brunson Reed, they don't say anything. They don't say shit. So I'm just confused by this whole faction. I'm confused by Seth Rollins. There's no story between him. There's nothing he's fighting for. He's saying, I have to win, but we don't know why he has to win. Obviously you have to win. Who wants to lose? You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's all I have to say about Seth, man. And here's the thing. I enjoy Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is a very good talent. It's just he doesn't have a character. And when you don't have a character and you're not really in any storylines, you're just there, wasting space. And the fact that he's a world champion, him and Cody are world champions, and there's not much going on between both of them. And they're both fighting each other, which is, it's actually insane. We then have AJ Styles. Yeah, where the fuck is AJ Lee, right? We have AJ Styles. He cuts a promo. He basically talks about how, he's thanking the fans that, you're the reason why I'm going to be fighting and doing what I love. I will be having a match against John Cena at Crown Jewel, which honestly, it's a good match. I expect, I hope there's going to be some type of promo or story between, two older guys who may retire soon. AJ, he's probably going to retire in the next year or two. So hopefully we can have some type of promo with, them talking about that and the good times, all that shit. That's probably going to be the storyline, right? But they have a match between the Americanos, the Los Americanos. And, bro, AJ Styles is so fucking good in the ring. I feel like I wasn't blessed enough to see him in TNA. I didn't watch even his early run in the WWE. I missed it. That was when I wasn't watching WWE. And just to see him wrestle now, he's just so fucking good. And I don't know how old he is. He might be close to 50. Or if he is in his 50s, that's crazy. But he moves well, man. He's jacked. He's a high flyer. He can do anything. I enjoy his matches, and I just hope I wish they utilized him more, because, in my opinion, he's like a better Seth Rollins, right? He's bigger than Seth Rollins. He's jacked. He's more athletic than Seth Rollins. I mean, you can take him more seriously than you can take a Seth Rollins. But that's about it. There's not much going on with AJ Styles right now. Hopefully, like I said, they can tell a story with him and John. We then get a promo backstage, an interview. They love doing their interviews. We have Stephanie Vaquer, and they ask her a couple questions. They ask her, what are you trying to prove, or some shit like that. And, she wants to prove to Tiffany Stratton, she wants to show her why she's the best, or some shit like that. Some cheesy shit, you know what I mean? It wasn't a horrible promo. It was just very, it's what they do every single week. The same type of structure. They have an interview, someone cuts in, they talk, and then that's it. Honestly, I'm happy if the Usos are back together. It's kind of like, them back at a tag team. They have a match against the Braun Breakers, and I did have a prediction. Oh, by the way, I skipped on a prediction with Raquel Rodriguez match versus, who did she fight? Bayley. Raquel won. I did have Bayley winning, but I did say if they have Raquel Rodriguez winning, I much rather that happen. So I'm happy that Raquel got her win, and is a much deserved win, because they need to start growing more stars, especially in the women's division as well. And Raquel Rodriguez is a girl that you can take serious. Now back to this match, right? We have the Usos versus the Braun Breaker and Braun Strowman. The Usos ended up winning because they have the help of Roman Reigns. Okay, now at the end, we have Roman Reigns, Jey Uso dab up, right? Jimmy Uso didn't get a dab up. They didn't even acknowledge Jimmy at all. Jimmy's just watching them in the background. You know, he's watching his girl just get plowed. You know what I mean? It's that type of shit. And it's like, damn, you're leaving me alone, and he's visibly upset. So I think they're going to tell a story that Jimmy is like the man left behind, and he wants to prove to himself that he's the strongest, or prove to himself that he can win it all. He can win a title. He can do something on his own. I hope that's the story they tell, because I feel like that would be a great underdog story for Jimmy. And we just need stories, right? And this is a very simple story. You didn't even have to have any words. All you had was a look that Jimmy gave Roman and Jey, and that told the story. That's all you have to do sometimes. Now, if you enjoy this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I might review NXT depending on if it's a good show or not, or if it's worth talking. We'll see about that. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.